Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today I'm going to be checking out the Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Batgirl and Donatello 2-pack from DC Collectibles. Based on the Batman vs. TMNT animated film, which of course is based on the series of crossover comic books, we've got these amazing figures from DC Collectibles that are just so fun. I love the designs. I've been really excited to pick all of these up. So of course these are GameStop store exclusives. You get 2 figures in the pack for retail price of $49.99, so a $50 pack, meaning about $25 per figure. We got lots of accessories there, very cool adult collector toys there. And when we look at the back of the box, you can see some of the other figures that are available in this series. Of course, we've got the Batman and Leo pack, the Raphael and Robin pack, Mikey and Alfred, and Ra's al Ghul and the Shredder. So why don't we go ahead and dive right in and check out Donnie and Batgirl. All right, we got Donnie and Babs outside of the packaging. Let's do that thing we do and start with the scale. You can see that Batgirl stands just shy of a full 6 inches tall. Donnie's actually about exactly the same height. He is just shy of 6 inches tall. So height-wise, they work out really great with the other figures in the lineup. So for example, we can bring in Batman here. You can see that Batgirl is appropriately sized compared to Batman. Robin, of course, much smaller than her even. So the Bat family looks really great all together. And Donatello is depicted as like the skinniest and almost the tallest of the turtles. Actually, if you put him next to Raphael, you can see that height-wise, they are about the same height. Raph even almost looks just a little bit bigger than Donnie, but you can see that he does stand a bit taller than Leonardo, and of course, Mikey is the smallest of the bunch. So that looks really great. I do really like how they're doing that with the scale with all the figures. I think everybody looks really great as far as that size difference goes. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at Batgirl here. She is just fantastic looking. I've been praising the overall sculpted details of these figures all the way through, and I really feel like Batgirl is a standout as far as the Bat family figures go, just because I think all of the details of her more modern costume there look really incredible. You know, they got the sharp black lines that really kind of highlight all of the pinstriping and everything on the costume, but it gives it that very cool comic booky look. We've seen that with all of them, but her costume has a lot more of those kind of etched in lines and everything with it, and it just looks really, really good. It's got that nice deep purple color, which is matched with the nice kind of yellows, or almost like this faded goldish color there. I don't know, it just looks really, really good. The bat emblem on her chest is a much brighter yellow than the yellow seen on her gloves and her belt. Absolutely love the sculpt of the boots with the little laces there on the front, and the mask and everything looks terrific. You can see her red hair sticking out of the back. I just think she looks really, really great, and she poses really good too. So why don't we go ahead and talk about the articulation with Batgirl here. The head is ball jointed like the others. She mostly just looks left and right. You can slightly move the head up and down. It is going to be hindered by the hair. The hair is very hard on the figure, so that is going to get in the way just a little bit there. The cape is made of a bit of a softer plastic, so it's not going to get in the way too bad there. The shoulders can go outwards, forwards, and backwards. We do just have a regular single joint at the elbow. The wrists are ball jointed, so they roll all the way around and can swivel there. Of course, those are going to be interchangeable as well. She does have a ball joint right there at her waist. You can see kind of in the midsection there, so you can swivel and rotate the torso all the way around. You do have the ball joints at the thighs. You can see that the belt is a separate piece here that's molded on with like the pouch on the side there. That is going to slightly hinder the articulation on the right leg there. The range of motion isn't as great as it is on the left, but the legs can still move slightly forwards and backwards there. They can also swivel there at the hips. You do have nice tight double joints at the knees, which works really well. And then the ankles can rock side to side as well as move up and down. Nothing in the boot cut. So the articulation is very much on par with all of the other figures we've seen in this line. I wouldn't say you can get a lot of super dynamic poses out of these figures, but I still think the articulation is pretty good overall, and hers is all feels real solid and real tight. I'm pretty impressed with the amount of poses I can actually get out of her. And helping with that are some of the very cool accessories that she comes with. So Batgirl does come with a bunch of interchangeable hands, just like we've seen with the other figures in this line, and that's going to help her to hold on to some of her different accessories. So these can be swapped out just by pulling on the hand. It pops it right off that small little ball joint there, and you'll notice right there I've got her with the closed fists. But we do have a pair of gripping hands with a bit of a tilt in the wrist, which is really great for her included Batarang accessory. So much like Batman there, we can get her holding on to her Batarang. In addition to that, she has another pair of gripping hands that are slightly more loose, and these will actually hold on to her grapnel gun. Very much like Batman's. It's a little bit smaller than Batman's, but she can hold that in her hand there. But also, just like Batman, she comes with two attachments for the top. You've got the hook kind of in a closed position, or you can just pop that out of the little socket there, and you can replace it with the grapple opened up, ready to be fired. So it's a pretty fun little accessory, just like Batman there. And then, of course, she wouldn't be complete. This version of Batgirl would not be complete without her own little smartphone. So it's purple. It's got the same little bat emblem on the back. The one gripping hand there, it's a little more wide, actually holds onto the phone pretty good, so you can get some of those really great Batgirl selfie shots, right? You can get her in those selfie poses, and she looks pretty fantastic. So that's going to bring us back over here to Donatello. I've really been digging the overall designs of the turtles from this particular animated film. I think they translate very well into action figure form. As I mentioned, Donnie is kind of the more slender turtle, and you can really see that specifically in his head sculpt there. I think he looks great. The colors on this guy are very good. They're bright and vibrant. He's got that kind of brighter green skin tone there. All the paint is very clean. He also has those nice sharp black lines that gives him that very kind of comic book or animated look to him. So really great all in all there. You can see on his back, he does have a holster for his included bow staff. And the bow staff is really nice because this is how it works. You can actually pop it apart in the middle there. You can see it's got the little peg there. This makes it so you can slide it through the back. And just like that, we can store the bow staff on Donatello's back, which is absolutely perfect. One of the other things I've been totally praising with this line is how they've been hiding the initials in the belts. It's a very clever way to do the initials on the belts, which is an homage to the original toy line. So you can see the D is clearly there in the belt buckle. I thought that was really, really cool. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at Donatello's articulation. It's very much on par with the other turtles, so if you've seen my other reviews, you pretty much know what to expect at this point, but the heads can go left and right mostly. They only slightly move up and down, so you're mostly only going to get left and right movement. Donnie's bandana hangs down over the back, so he doesn't have like the over-the-shoulder ones like some of the other turtles in this line do. Shoulders can go upwards, forwards, backwards. You have a single joint at the elbow and a swivel at the elbow, and then the wrists are ball jointed. You know, one of the things I haven't really talked about too much is because of that ball joint there, it almost looks like his arm is a sleeve. Like it doesn't really match up with the hand very well. I feel like it stands out a lot more with Donnie for some reason than it did with the other turtles. It doesn't bother me too much, but the sculpt is broken up just a bit by that. So I can totally understand how that might be a little off-putting to some people. He's got ball joints in the thighs there, very, very tight joints, which is really, really good. You can also swivel there. He does have double joints at the knees, again, super tight on this particular figure. You'll notice that the knee pad is right there in the middle of the knee joints, which I do really like. And then you can see you got this great hinge joint there on the ankle, so the ankles can move forwards and backwards, but they can also rock side to side. So again, it's just like all the other turtles in this line. I will say that Donnie's is much tighter than we saw with Leonardo, for example. His was a little more loose, but you can get some pretty decent poses out of these guys. And of course, to help you along with that, we do have interchangeable hands. So much like we've seen with the other turtles, Donatello comes with a pair of closed fists, a pair of gripping hands, and a pair of open hands. Those open hands are good for holding on to the slice of pizza accessory or doing high fives with your other turtles, or high threes. But the hands can be interchanged exactly like I showed you with Batgirl. You can just pop them right off the ball joint. It works very, very well. And that bow staff that he comes with just like we did on the back there, in order to place it in his hand, you can do the same thing. You can just pop it apart and boom, just like that, he can hold on to the accessory. Now, he can get some double-handed poses, but because of the sculpt of the arms and because he doesn't have double jointed elbows, it's a little tricky and you're not gonna get a lot of really dynamic two-handed poses out of it. The other downside is that the green paint is totally scratching off his hands and getting all over the bow staff. Specifically on the tape parts there, the white bandages wrapped around the bow staff, you can see I got all this green scraped paint, so that is a bit of a bummer and definitely something to watch out for when posing the figure around. So another thing that Donnie has that stands out from the pack is he's got an interchangeable head. Now I mentioned that these are based on the Batman vs. TMNT animated film. So here we've got Donatello rocking this modified baseball helmet with the little sensor scope there in front of his eye, which is very cool. He's also much angrier in this pose, right? He's got the teeth gritting pose there. So you can pop that right off the ball joint. The new head snaps on very nicely and gives you an alternate way to display the figure. And then, in addition to the alternate head, we do get a few more really fun accessories for Donatello. So first of all, we got a TCRI mutagen canister, really fun accessory. The only thing that's a bit of a bummer with this is I cannot get this thing in his gripping hand at all. His hands are just too tight. They don't really flex. I can't flex the fingers, so I can't really get this in position in his hand. And also I'm rubbing a bunch of green paint off on it just by trying. So I don't know, I can't really get him to hold on to this. I'm glad that it's included. It's cool that we get a mutagen canister with this set of turtles. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he can hold it. Batgirl's hands are way too small for it as well. But right along with that, we also get 2 of the retro mutagen darts. So these are tiny, tiny little things there that of course he could hold on to if you wanted. And then we also get the T-phone or the shell phone or the turtle comm, whatever you want to call it. It's been in lots of different versions of the turtles. It's very cool because you can see it's got the great shell design. And it actually opens up. You can see a screen, you can see buttons, and this is great because you can position it in that open hand just by kind of finding the right way to rest it between his thumb and index finger. And now we can get Donatello talking on his T-phone or posing to do selfies right alongside Batgirl. It's really fun stuff. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So just for fun, like I've done with all of these other videos so far, I wanted to pose Donatello alongside some of the other collector figures that have been released recently. So we got him alongside the original cartoon version of Donatello from NECA Toys to really show you the scale difference between these. And I'm also going to put him alongside the movie version, also from NECA Toys, which really gives you a sense of scale for this new figure. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the Batman vs. TMNT Donatello and Batgirl 2-pack. I really like this one. I think the overall designs are super good on both of these figures. Articulation's nice and tight. I don't really have a lot of complaints with this, you know, a little nitpicks with the paint scratching off on the bow staff or you know, the accessories not being able to be properly held, but otherwise I think this is a really fine pair of action figures and I'm just really loving these designs. I think this is a very fun toy line. So I do have to give a very special thanks to the folks over at DC Collectibles who did provide this particular set for this video. The Donatello and Batgirl set just started hitting GameStop stores where they are exclusive, so happy hunting, my friends. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.